So throughout the past 5 days or so, Manchester United have regularly been linked to a young man going by the name of Ederson. But the question is, who is he? Well, the 24-year-old Brazilian central midfielder currently plays for Atalanta in Italy in the Serie A. And in terms of play style, he is a central midfielder that I would describe as a segundo volante. Now, as you saw there, segundo volante actually translates as the second wheel, but what does that actually mean? Well, essentially, it means that he will often play in a double pivot, and he isn't the first wheel, he isn't the first receiver, the regista, the deep-lying playmaker. He's actually the guy next to that, the one who does a bit more of shuttling up and down the pitch, almost a bit more of a box-to-box midfielder, which is sort of reflected in these stats here. Now, these are stats of Serie A midfielders, and up and down here we've got progressive passes per 90, and along the bottom we've got defensive duels per 90. Now, you can see that you want to be up that end somewhere. What we can see up there is that Ederson is ranking well, attempting a lot of progressive passes per 90 minutes, but also getting involved in those defensive duels. Again, kind of suggesting he is a player which is going to go up and down the pitch, shuttle up and down, and be a box-to-box midfielder. So what does this mean from a tactical point of view, and how Ederson would actually look to play at Manchester United? Well, once again, he is the second wheel. So if you like, if we're using that analogy, Kobbie Mainoo would be our first wheel, Ederson would be our second wheel. So in terms of we're trying to play the ball out from the back, Ederson isn't going to be the first receiver. That's just not the sort of player he is. But that is okay because Kobbie Mainoo likes to be the first receiver. So in terms of balance, it actually works quite nicely. What Ederson likes to do more though, on a more regular basis, is find himself in behind the opposition's first line. So he doesn't want to receive in here and try and turn past players. Instead, he wants to take up this sort of line in here. This little area, this is where Ederson really likes to find himself, where he can find himself in a bit of space, making himself a passing option, knowing that he can receive the ball and get on the turn. And the reason he can do that is because he does actually scan really well. He's good at checking his shoulders before he receives the ball, so that by the time he receives the pass, he's already painted a picture in his head of what he wants to do, where the opposition are, allowing him to turn and then play forward from there. So that is where Ederson would be useful. He's not a player who's going to drop here and, constantly turn past players. It's just not his game. Instead, you will see him a little bit higher than someone like Kobbie Mainoo, looking to receive the second pass in this area here. Again, in that line across the pitch there, looking to receive the ball in here before then looking to play. Now, having received in these areas, with Ederson, you kind of get two modes. In these deeper areas of the pitch, he is going to look to progress the ball, namely with progressive passes. So first of all, he's got that scanning ability to receive the ball through the lines, but also he's got that scanning ability, once he's got the ball at his feet, to find that next pass in front of him. Now, he's not the most expansive passer in the world, but he is more than capable of progressing the play through the middle of the pitch with these line-breaking passes into teammates. So you would likely see a sort of staggered approach in the midfield. Perhaps Kobbie Mainoo is the deepest, then Ederson, then Bruno Fernandes, and we could actually see that pass sequence on quite a regular basis. Mainoo to Ederson to Fernandes, quickly moving the ball forward through the lines. And we can see this if we head over to Once Video Analyzer Pro, a great video analysis software which you guys can check out using the link in the description down below. But we've got him here in a friendly against Newcastle, and we can see Ederson receiving the ball in the second phase, and instantly on him he has 4 Newcastle midfielders. However, because he had previously done his scanning work, he knew that these players were going to be here, which means that with one line splitting pass, he can play the ball past all of them into his teammate up front and take out all of these players. So with just one pass there, he has managed to take out 5 of the Newcastle midfielders, simply because of his awareness when passing the ball forward. Now, as I said earlier, we get 2 modes of Ederson. So in this deeper phase here, in this area, he is progressive and he likes to play forward through the lines. And that might lead you to think he's actually quite a creative midfielder, but that would be wrong. Because as his side moves up the pitch, let's say you're now kind of got the opposition really boxed in the final third, you're trying to create chances, Ederson isn't that probing midfielder which wants to try and create chances. Once he's higher up the pitch, he plays more laterally. So rather than moving the ball forward through the lines now, instead he's going to move the ball side to side. Now that's not a bad thing, as long as you get the right players around him. But if Ederson was to sign for the club, don't expect pure output in the final third. He'll chip in with a goal or an assist or 2 there, but it's not really his main role. In the opposition's half, and certainly in the final third, he plays laterally, moving the ball from side to side. So before we continue into the video, a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, jerseyfifa.com. the home of all of the greatest football kits. Whether that be the new latest releases or the old classic ones like this, Jersey FIFA has something for everyone, and now you can check it out yourself using the link in the description down below. And also make sure to use code JerseyFIFA for 10% off when you order. Now of course that's not to say that Ederson is completely useless at progressing the ball. We've already seen that he can pass the ball forward, but also he can work with the ball in tight spaces. He's actually quite a tall guy, over 6 foot tall, but he's still really good with his feet, shifting the ball from his left foot to his right foot to dribble forward past his opponents. And that is definitely something he would bring to the United midfield. Ball carrying. Now so far in his career, we've only really seen this in a deeper area. So again, if we head over to Once Video Analyzer Pro, we can see him in a deeper area here. He's going to drive through the midfield. So we can see the Newcastle midfielder comes over for some physical contact. Ederson is completely okay with that. Uses his body well, uses his arms well to keep the opposition away from him. And then he has that little bit of acceleration over the first few steps to get away from his opponent. And that's actually quite a nice still shot there. You can see how the stride length here moving away from the opposition player. Now again, that would lead me to describe him more as a ball carrier rather than a dribbler. So what's the difference? A dribbler is someone who wants to stand someone up 1 versus 1, take them on and beat them. A ball carrier is someone who looks to carry the ball instead into space. So rather than using tight dribbling to get past an opponent, you just stride forward and really drive through the heart of the pitch. That is certainly how I would describe Ederson more. There's several examples of this over the past couple of seasons. We've got another one here, where again, this time he's going back towards his own goal to win the ball back. He's then again happy for this physical contact, putting his arm in. Now he's not actually holding hands with the guy here. I guess he might be, but he's not. He's holding his opponent off, trying to keep him away from the ball, and then once again, using that physical contact, shrugging the opposition off, and then again accelerating over the first few yards to carry the ball away and drive forward and then play a pretty safe pass. Like we've said already, as he moves forward, his passing becomes much safer. But again, it's not necessarily a bad thing that he does this. In terms of what that would mean for tactical fit at Manchester United, Ederson is the sort of player who would most likely play in a double pivot in possession. So perhaps United build possession in a back three. For example, one of the fullbacks pushes further forward like this, allowing one of the wingers to come inside. United then build with a back three, and then a Kobbie Mainoo and Ederson double pivot ticks a lot of the boxes of what you would want in possession. Kobbie Mainoo being your high volume press resistant midfielder in the first phase who really controls the tempo, Ederson bringing your size, your muscle and your ball carrying ability, but also the ability still to progress the ball through the thirds really, through the lines. The question is, as the team rotates, which it always does under Erik ten Hag, does he have the defensive capabilities? He's more than capable of playing in a rotation where Kobbie Mainoo drops into a 3-1 and Ederson goes forward. He's capable of playing that role, being that shuttler in midfield. The question is, does it work the other way around? When Kobbie Mainoo wants to step forward with the ball, is Ederson capable of doing the defensive work? Truthfully, I'm not too sure at the moment. The stats suggest that he is very good from a defensive point of view. We've got him here for tackles, the 91st percentile. Tackles 1, the 89th percentile, in the defensive third and in the middle third. Dribblers tackled, the 96th percentile. And in terms of the percentage of dribblers he tackles, the 99th percentile, tackling 73.7% of the dribblers which come at him, which is insanely impressive. And he also ranks well for interceptions and also tackles and interceptions towards the bottom there. So from a statistical point of view, he certainly can be that ball-winning midfielder. My question would just be, in the rotation, as the team moves, does he have the capability to be kind of that solo ball winner at times? Perhaps he wouldn't have to be. Perhaps Ten Hag next season will use a more cautious shape, more of a double pivot in midfield. I'm not too sure. Of course, it's all speculation at that point. In terms of Ederson, I think he's a really good profile. I think he's a really good player, and he ticks a lot of the boxes of what Manchester United don't really have. He is tall, he is very, very strong, and he is happy to duel all over the pitch and covers ground really well due to his brilliant stride length, but also his work rate. In terms of on the ball, he is technical. He is able to scan and receive the ball in space. From there, he can progress the play with his passes through the lines or carry the ball forward. In the final third, the output is a little bit restricted apart from his threat at attacking set pieces, but in general, that's ticking a lot of boxes of what United currently lack in their midfield. My question would just be, is he exactly what United need? Do United need more of a natural ball winner? Not too sure. Also, what is the ceiling of Ederson? How good can he really be? He has represented Brazil once before in his career, which would kind of point towards the talent he possesses, but I need to watch more of him to really decide whether or not he is the right player for Manchester United to go and sign. So in terms of a conclusion for today's video, I'm not going to say, yes, go sign him, no, don't go sign him. I'm going to say, keep an eye on him. Manchester United should keep watching him. I like this as a bit of an outside shout from what everyone else is suggesting. To me, he looks like a really good player. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you like what you've seen? Have you seen more of him? If so, let me know some of his strengths or perhaps weaknesses that I've missed in this video. But apart from that, we are finished for today. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.